I want a realistic, modern military shooter. We here at Sledgehammer Games hear you loud and clear, so that's why we've got a game about jetpacks, lasers, exoskeletons, Kevin Spacey, and lots of microtransactions. I hate jetpacks and lasers. I don't want Call of Duty in the future. I also don't want microtransactions. I spent $500 and got nothing. Please give me a modern, realistic military shooter. Team Treyarch's been working hard to deliver you a futuristic sci-fi shooter with robots, lightning guns, wall running, and even underwater gunfights. Also some microtransactions. I'm getting really tired of jetpacks and future stuff. Like, is that what you're doing? Is like Call of Duty going to sci-fi now? If so, that's fine. I just need to know. But what I really want to play is a modern, realistic military shooter like Rainbow Six or Battlefield. Or you could try out Infinity Ward's brand new space combat game with wall running, lasers, black holes, alternate dimensions, and everybody's favorite Jon Snow. Please, no more future stuff. I'm dying here, man. Just give me something modern. I hear your complaints loud and clearly about the futuristic games, so how about Call of Duty World War II? Yep, these World War II military shooters used to be really popular in 1995. No, it's so old and boring. I don't want to play World War II. I don't want to be grandpa in some 75-year-old conflict. Please, I want a modern game. This one doesn't even let me be a Nazi. Despite all your complaints about Black Ops 3, all of you bought it and a lot of microtransactions. So how about let's do Black Ops 3 Part 2 Battle Royale Boogaloo plus microtransactions. I just give up all hope. I've got 3 dads, and all 3 dads give me jetpacks and lasers every Christmas. I never get anything new. Please, please just give me a modern, realistic military shooter. Okay, community, this year we finally heard you, I promise. We're gonna give you a modern, realistic military shooter with real tactical operators and realistically modeled weapons and combat. What do you think? I hate it! It's too slow. It looks like Rainbow Six or Battlefield on potato graphics. It's just slow and boring. I don't like it at all. This isn't Call of Duty anymore. Hashtag not my COD. That opening pretty much sums up exactly how I see the COD community right now. Right now, the Call of Duty community is angry again. I kind of feel like that's the community's default mood, like they're always angry, they're waiting to be angry, they're just like wake up in the morning like I can't wait to rage about this thing today. And this time, they're angry at Call of Duty Modern Warfare for basically being Rainbow Six, for looking like Battlefield, for being slow, for having stolen graphics, and a lot of things that are honestly weird to me, or just downright crazy reasons that they're mad at the game. Firstly, the Call of Duty community has been begging, literally begging on their knees every single year, please, Papa Activision, give me a modern, realistic military shooter. For like half a decade now, if not more than that, and every single year, the loudest voice in the community is the "we want a modern, realistic shooter" voice. And every single year, all Activision and the developers have given us is jetpacks, microtransactions, and a little bit of World War II stuff. For a long time, COD players like me and you have been comparing Call of Duty to games like Rainbow Six Siege, Overwatch, CSGO, Battlefield, and other games that have better graphics, better engines, better shooting mechanics, better microtransaction systems, but just aren't as popular because they're not maybe exactly that Call of Duty feel, right? So after many years of begging, and I mean like actual years of begging, Infinity Ward finally delivers this blessing upon heaven, which is a realistic modern military shooter, more than Ghost, more than MW3, probably more than any COD game. We got that real military feel, and to me it looks more like a true sequel to Modern Warfare 3, which as far as I'm aware almost everybody in the community played and loved, and it's even more realistic than COD Ghost in most ways, which people look back on with a lot of nostalgia now, and I guess that's kind of silly. Ghost wasn't that realistic, but it was more so than jetpacks and lasers. I thought the Call of Duty community would be pumped. I thought they'd be like jumping up and down, screaming in joy that we got a modern, realistic game, but they're pissed off. And the only way that this makes sense to me is that the percentage of OG players to jetpackers has radically changed in the last couple of years. So you have a lot of these like OG COD players that played the realistic games, the sort of boots on the ground arcade games. We've had so many years of future and space stuff that a lot of current Call of Duty fans started with jetpacks, so they're kind of looking for jetpacks and abilities, and they don't like these more realistic games. So now we have a much more split community than we used to. Secondly, I find it very unusual to compare Modern Warfare to Rainbow Six Siege and say that it is slow. Reddit and Twitter right now are flooded with angry people calling it slow, just as slow as Rainbow Six. And to all this, the only thing I can say is, are you high? And if so, may I please have some of what you're smoking, because it has to be the good stuff. For comparison, you've been watching Call of Duty Modern Warfare gameplay in the slowest mode that they have in the entire game in this video. Let's take a look at Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah,
we're down below.
Okay. I feel like they might be upstairs.
Oh, right in front of us, right? No!
Oh!
He's right, he was right in front of you.
You killed each other?
Who did I kill?
Oh my god.
Cross.
I'm letting the ride shield guy go first.
Okay, I finally got that guy. I'm sorry, dude. That's 2 kills for me this round, just not the ones we need.
He poked a hole through there.
Got another one? Now please tell me, which game has the faster pace? Well, the answer is obvious. Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Like, it is plainly, blatantly obvious which game has the faster pace. They aren't even close to the same place. Call of Duty is like way faster, like crazy faster, no comparison. And I think that the reason people are saying this is that there has been a slowdown on Call of Duty Modern Warfare compared to like Blops 4 and Blops 3 and Infinite Warfare and even World War II, especially post-patch. These were all very fast-paced, like super soldier, crazy games. And when Infinity Ward was designing the new Modern Warfare, they're like, well, if we're doing realistic guns and realistic setting, we need to make this a realistic thing. We need to slow it down just a little bit. You know, instead of wall running and robot dogs, we need to take this down to kind of like sane human being movements. So of course it's a slower game. Call of Duty Modern Warfare is going to be the slowest COD we've had in a long time, but it still plays and feels like Call of Duty. It may, much to many of your fears, turn into a campy game once it goes like broader public. Commentators and pro players aren't going to do that, but you know, when the general public gets their hands on it, it might be a slower paced pick kind of game, but it's not going to be Rainbow Six. Rainbow Six is one of the slowest shooters on the market, one of the most tactical type shooters on the market at the moment. It's probably slower than PUBG, to be honest with you. The game is many things. Rainbow Six Siege, not even close. I think most of the people that are saying this have probably never actually played Rainbow Six, so there's that. Next up, let's talk about the topic of Battlefield graphics. Many people have said that the graphics in Call of Duty Modern Warfare look like they're stolen from Battlefield, or at least heavily inspired from Battlefield. Oddly, many of the same people also say it doesn't look like Call of Duty, and they don't want their game to look like Battlefield. They want COD to be COD and Battlefield to be Battlefield, and this is something that both communities struggle with because COD's always trying to scale up to match like Battlefield's scale, and Battlefield is always kind of trying to scale down and focus on their shooting mechanics to be more like COD, and I get the gamers want to have the separation. But to say that Modern Warfare looks like Battlefield, the only thing I can ask again is, are you high? And would you please share some with me? I could use a little back pain relief. That's why I'm like, you see me goofy here? I'm at like the standing desk today, because I can't sit because my back is all screwed up. But Battlefield has had vastly superior graphics thanks to the Frostbite engine and just better optimization in general for almost a decade now, if not more. Battlefield 3 was a downright beautiful game. It was a fun game. Battlefield 4 was an insanely fun game with the Levolution and stuff, and like it was beautiful. Maybe not on last gen. That Xbox 360 Battlefield 4 was rough. Battlefield 1, fantastic looking game. Still my personal favorite of the more recent ones as far as looks go. Battlefield 5, for all the criticism I got about SJW this and gameplay that and delays this and that, Battlefield 5 is a beautiful game. One of the first games to have true ray tracing, massive scale, good detail, good character animations, good pretty much all the way through on a visual and audio standpoint. And these games look amazing, and every single year they put Call of Duty to shame. Call of Duty gets criticized by every major like game reviewer, every YouTube, everybody that works in the gaming space says that Battlefield just clobbers COD when it comes to graphics, and COD has never even remotely kept up to Battlefield. I think more specifically though, in this case, other than gamers wanting their separation, what's happening is They see the sort of hand movements and weapon momentum that Call of Duty hasn't really had in a long time, and they're associating that with Battlefield. At this point of the gameplay, I'm sharing from TP's stream. That's why he's going to be up over here in this corner. I got a link on the screen to him and down there below in the description. Please check out Optic TP. I am very glad that he was able to share this with me, and he's probably going to have the best gameplay of anybody that you've seen in Modern Warfare so far. I'm going to go ahead and grab my good old PlayStation light gun here, because when you hold a gun in real life and you swing really fast, it doesn't like hard stick like to your chest like you've got it attached to. You've got some weight and some momentum and some kind of wobble with it, right? Like when you run. That's what it's like when you handle a real gun. You turn really fast and it's going to wobble a little bit. Battlefield's had that for a long time, just as part of their visual engine. Even Overwatch and other games have. And Call of Duty's had it kind of, but it was never really a big part of the engine, so theirs were like very simple little visual appeals to it. Call of Duty, handling-wise, traditionally hasn't had a lot in the way of momentum. It's been a little bit stiff, which we as players appreciate it because it's arcadey. While it may be a little bit jarring to do like weird gun up and down movements, it is nice to be able to do them all quickly without fiddling with momentum. So I think what a lot of players are afraid of is that their nice, fast, responsive controls are going to fall away to this weird, clunky, like Battlefield kind of momentum, Rainbow Six swapping kind of thing, which just isn't true. It is much faster than Battlefield or Siege, of course. The gun momentum and body momentum don't really slow you down or boggle you that too much. And even if it was literally exactly stolen from Battlefield, if a team of Activision ninjas just broke into Battlefield's office and stole their movement code, would it really be that bad of a thing? Battlefield handles really well as a game for those of you that have played it. Battlefield has a good feel to it, and I wouldn't really care if Call of Duty was like that. Well, after all of that, as of right now, I'm still kind of at a complete loss as to what the community is so mad about. I can logically understand it. I can kind of sit here and space out and wrap my head around it and observe it, but I don't feel it. I don't feel it in here, you know? It just doesn't seem like things that people should be mad about. I would understand, and do understand, that the Call of Duty community is like generally pissed. They're like sort of angry in general over the years and years of being given the wrong product, what they don't want, and the mistreatment with the increasing microtransactions and stuff like that, but not a modern, realistic military shooter. And in general, I wish that the Call of Duty community would take a fraction of the anger and the effort that they have put into complaining about Modern Warfare looks like Siege, and I don't see an ACR, and there's no intervention, and can you YY quickscope, and is there drop shotting, and is this combat knife back, and I don't like Battlefield graphics, and this is too realistic, and I'm super mad that the gun names aren't real, and little things like that. Just take all that and just put it aside, and instead focus on the microtransaction system, which we know nothing about. The microtransaction system is still the #1 thing that can sink Call of Duty Modern Warfare and continue to drain the franchise. Call of Duty is dying under a microtransaction system right now. It is struggling to adapt its business model to a more free-to-play, more open access kind of thing. They're making the worst choices at pretty much every single step along the way. So if you're pissed off about something Call of Duty related, if there's something in this game that you don't like, be it Battlefield graphics or intervention or whatever, just take a minute and just breathe and realize that the game is a game and it's going to play how it is, but it's going to play bad if there's a bad monetization system. If there's an intervention that comes out and you can't get it, you're certainly not going to be YY quickscoping anybody. So put all of that effort into reforming the microtransaction system. Do it with me. Make your voice loud and clear in public spaces. And as always, vote with your wallet. Guys, that is all for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something useful. I hope that my new recording setup here is okay. I'm standing at the moment, no chair, anything like that. So hopefully it still picked up audio the same, and we're going to continue to refine this moving forward. Drifter out.